Hello, grade 3. I hope all of you are doing really well. Uh, okay, so uh, today we are going to do a topic, and after this block, after this topic, this block will be over. Okay, so in this block we have learned so many different things about animals, right? We have learned what kind of food they eat. How can we put them into different groups based on what kind of food they eat? We learned that there are plant eating animals, there are carnivores, there are omnivores, and we also have scavengers, right? Now we also learned how these different animals gather and eat their food. Okay, different animals, different food habits, and different ways in which they collect their food, right? So we also learned that their teeth and body parts are made based on what kind of food they eat. For example, plant eating animals usually have flat and broad teeth so that they can chew plants easily. Compared to that, carnivores have sharp and pointed teeth and sharp claws on their paws so that they can kill other animals easily. Okay, so we learned that their bodies were designed based on what kind of food they eat. Okay, so today we are going to learn uh, who eats whom. The topic is who eats whom. So another name for this topic is food chain. It's called a food chain. Okay, in simple words, a food chain shows you who eats whom. Okay, so let me show you an example of a food chain. So example of a food chain is uh, grass is eaten by deer and the deer is eaten by a tiger. This is the example of a food chain. Okay, the grass was eaten by the deer, which is a herbivore, and this deer was eaten by the tiger, which is a carnivore. This food chain shows who is eating whom. Okay, food chain also shows you the flow of energy. Okay, how the energy flows from the plants. The deer eats the plant, it gets the energy from the plant, right? When the tiger eats the deer, it gets the energy of the deer. So food chains will also show you the flow of energy from one organism or one animal, from plants to another animal. Okay, now keep this in mind that uh, this main source of energy in everything around us starts from the sun. The main source of energy is sun. Plants make their food. Something very interesting is that all food chains, most of the food chains, they actually start from plants. Okay, or plant products, maybe fruits or seeds or grains or whatever it is, but it has to be a plant product. So you know that plants make their food from sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, right? So the energy of the sun in the plant, and then when the deer eats the plant, it gets that energy, and when the tiger eats the deer, it gets the energy of the deer. So food chains also show us how energy flows from the plants to the deer to the tiger. So food chains show us who eats whom, but it also shows how the energy flows from one organism to another organism in order to survive. Okay, in order to survive. There's a saying that survival of the fittest. It means that there's always a constant fight in a forest. There's always a constant fight to survive, to live. So herbivores eat plants to survive, carnivores eat herbivores to survive, even omnivores eat herbivores to survive. And you also know that omnivores can also live on plants, and when these carnivores die, they are eaten by the scavengers. Okay, one more example. The plant is eaten by the deer is eaten by the tiger, and if in because of any reason, when the tiger dies, it will be eaten away by the vulture, which is a scavenger. So this is a food chain, how the energy is flowing from the plant to the vulture in order to live. So food chains show which animal is eating whom to survive. And most of the food chains, they either start with plants or they will start with something dead matter, something which is dead. Okay, maybe dead plants, something like that. Now keep this in mind that these food chains actually keep a balance in the forest. Okay, the number of herbivores are the number of herbivores are kept in check by the carnivores. If there are no carnivores, there will be lots and lots of herbivores in the forest, and there will not be enough plants and leaves for them to eat. So in order to keep that balance, there are carnivores or omnivores who will eat up some of the herbivores so that their numbers are kept in check. Okay, and if there are no herbivores, what will happen is that omnivores, they can survive on plants, but what about the carnivores? Will they be able to survive on plants? I don't think so. Okay, they will not be able to survive on plants. So just imagine a scenario where all the herbivores are dead. In the forest, there is only leaves and plants and fruits growing everywhere, but no herbivores to eat those plants. But you have carnivores and omnivores in the forest. What do you think will happen in that kind of a scenario where there are no herbivores left? What do you think will happen? The first thing that will happen is that omnivores, they can still live eating plants, right? So they will do that. But what about the carnivores? So what carnivores will do is they will start killing omnivores. They will start killing the omnivores. When the omnivores are all over, they may start eating some of the plants, but that will not allow them to live for very long. So what they may do is they will start killing their own kind. They will start killing other carnivores to eat. Okay, they will start killing other carnivores just to survive. So you see that there has to be a balance of plants, there has to be a balance of herbivores, and there has to be a balance of carnivores. Okay, if herbivores go down, it will be a problem for carnivores. If the number of carnivores go down, it will be a problem for herbivores and plants. That's why we have a food chain. A food chain maintains that balance. Okay, so I hope you understood that a food chain will show you who eats whom. Okay, who is eating what, and it also shows you the flow of energy, how energy flows straight from plants to one animal to the other animal. Okay, so food chains, they usually start with plants, and then comes a herbivore, and then an omnivore or a carnivore, and in the end maybe a scavenger. When you go to higher grades, you're going to learn about more complex food chains which are connected with each other. Okay, and a food chain is very important. When animals in a forest, when they start dying or when the number goes down, this food chain becomes unbalanced and it affects all the other animals. Okay, for example, in the simple food chain of plants, deer and tiger, if there are no deer, it will affect plants and it will also affect tigers. If there are no plants, it will affect deers and the tigers, and if there are no tigers, it will affect plants and deer. So everyone is connected in a food chain, and if the number of plants or the number of any animal goes down, it affects the entire food chain. Okay, so food chains are very important for a forest or a forest ecosystem to keep it balanced. Okay, so that will be all for today, and we are done with block 6. Have a good day.